Well, Mr Speaker, he will be going through all of it. He will be going through it with the Chief of Defence Force. Can't actually state exactly what that will be. You don't know what you don't know.
Question number 3, Andrew Bailey.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. And my question is to the Minister of Finance. What recent reports has he received on the economy?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, this morning the Reserve Bank released its official cash rate decision. In leaving the rate unchanged at 1.75%, the bank noted that New Zealand's growth outlook remained positive, supported by ongoing high levels of household spending and construction activity, strong population growth and accommodative monetary policy. It noted that house price inflation has moderated and in part reflects loan-to-value ratio restrictions and tighter lending conditions, but it also noted it was still uncertain as to whether this moderation will be sustained. The bank also noted what it said was an encouraging fall in the trade-weighted exchange rate.
Supplementary, Mr Speaker.
Supplementary question, Andrew Bailey.
What risks to the economy did the bank identify?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, the main risks identified by the bank were international ones. While it noted that indicators in other advanced economies have been more positive over the last 2 months, that major challenges remain with ongoing surplus capacity in other parts of the global economy and extensive geopolitical uncertainties. Responding to that geopolitical uncertainty is a key focus of this government, and the Prime Minister will speak about New Zealand's trade policy in the context of that world environment in Auckland tomorrow.
Supplementary, Mr Speaker.
Supplementary question, Andrew Bailey.
What are the government's fiscal priorities to manage the economy's growth and manage potential risks in Budget 2017?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, we have 4 key priorities for Budget 2017. Firstly, delivering better public services for a growing country, providing all New Zealanders with the opportunity to lead successful and independent lives. Secondly, building the infrastructure we need in a growing and modern economy. Thirdly, we need to keep paying down debt as a percentage of GDP. We've set a target of reducing net debt to around 20% of GDP by 2020, and that's to make sure we can manage any shocks that may come along in the future. And finally, we remain committed to reducing the tax burden and in particular the impact of marginal tax rates on lower and middle income earners when we have the room to do so. It's very important to remember that the money the government spends comes from hard-working Kiwi families.
Question number 4, Chris Hipkins.